Hello fellow Minecraft addicts, Jarbo here. Today we are going to be talking about redstone repeaters and redstone comparators, some of the ways you can use them, and at the end we're going to build a couple of useful little circuits. First, repeaters are primarily used for extending a redstone signal. As you can see here, the repeater is extending this signal so that this signal from here to here is 15, and as you can see here, if we move that lamp back one block, it turns on. So that's 15, and this repeater is repeating the signal, so it has no problem getting to this lamp out here that's 30 blocks from our lever over there. Second, repeaters can be used to delay the start and stop of a signal. As you can see here, those repeaters delay that signal for 16, 4 ticks each, turning on, and then again 4 ticks each turning off. So they delay it starting and stopping. And each of these repeaters can be set to either 1, 2, 3, or 4 ticks by right-clicking on them. Alright, so repeaters can be used to lock a signal. And so as you can see here, that turns the lamp on. That one doesn't do anything, but then the lamp stays on. Either of these levers can be used to turn that lamp on. In this situation, we've got a couple of repeaters here, one facing towards the lamp and one facing into the side of the other repeater. And this lever will turn the lamp on, but then this lever will lock that repeater. See it locked the repeater? Now, no matter what you do with this lever, the lamp is going to stay in the state it was when this repeater was locked. So you can unlock it. And if it was off, lock it. Now it won't turn on. So basically, the repeater is acting like a secondary switch that will disable this lever when this is turned on. Another way repeaters can be used is as a diode or a check valve so that a signal can only go one direction. So here you can see if we turn this lever on, all 3 lamps turn on. If we turn this lever on, all 3 lamps turn on, because this one is also powering this one via that redstone line there. Over here we've installed 2 repeaters facing out of these blocks. And if we turn this one on, it only lights up this lamp and that lamp because this signal is being stopped by that repeater. It's not letting it flow through to this lamp. So you can have 2 switches that control the same output independently. Either one can turn it on, or both of them can turn it on, but they don't activate each other. These aren't the only uses for repeaters, but this is 4 pretty common ways that you can use repeaters getting started, and you'll discover more along the way, I'm sure. Alright, that brings us to comparators. Comparators have 4 basic function modes, I guess you could say. The first is maintain. That just means that they maintain the signal that they receive. So as you can see here, that lamp, those lamps are 16 blocks from here. So this torch can't reach that one. If we move the torch there, it does reach. Here, this torch is outputting a signal of 15, and this comparator, this is the rear input, the side with the 2 lamps on it. These are the sides, and that's the output, the side with the single torch on it. It's receiving that signal strength of 15 and maintaining it on the output, so it's putting out a signal strength of 15. The second mode is compare, which means they output the signal they receive on the rear input as long as they don't receive a stronger signal on either side. So as you can see here, we've got 15, 14, so we have an input of 14, but then on the side over here we have an input of 15. So if we break that torch, now we have an input of 14 and an input of 14. So this one is not stronger than this one, so the lamp turns on, and this outputs a signal strength of 14. And we can tell that because if we move this lamp to 15 blocks away, it doesn't turn on. So it's not putting out a stronger signal than it received, just the same signal, when it doesn't have a stronger signal on one of the sides. It's important to note that the two side inputs don't add up. So that's a strength of 15 and it shuts it off. But if we move this over here, those two sides would be stronger than the 14 that it's receiving. But since neither of them independently are stronger, it's outputting the 14 that it's receiving. Now, if you right click a comparator, it'll turn the single torch on, and that puts the comparator in subtraction mode. And what this does is it takes the input, the rear input, and it outputs the difference of that input and the stronger of the two side inputs that it's receiving. So here we have an input of 14. So it has an output of 14. As you can see, it's lighting that lamp all the way down there up. Now if we add a torch over here, that's going to be 15, 14, 13. So now it's going to output 1. As you can see, this one here is lit up. So if we put it on this side, that's 15, 14, 13, 12. So now it's outputting 2, and it's getting to this lamp right here through this target block. These as well don't add up. So if we add another one here, even though the two of those together would be more than the 14, it's only using the stronger one, which is still 12 on this side. And last, the most common way that I use comparators, and I think I see comparators used most of the time, is as to measure a block state. So here we have a lectern with the book on it, and with the book on it, it has a block state of 1, so the comparator is outputting a signal of 1. If we open the book and turn the page up, you can see more lamps are turning on the right side of the screen there. All the way up to, if we go to page 15 and 16, it puts out a full signal. So 15, and that's to right there. And it's important to note that it can't go past 15 because that's the max redstone signal. Then over here we have an item frame, and it's kind of the same. With an item in it, it outputs a signal of 1, and then as you rotate the item, it increases the signal strength. The maximum output for an item frame is 8, and then it goes back down to 1. So no item is 0, an item is 1. Rotated all the way around is 8. So that was non-container blocks. Here we have container blocks, and we have a comparator reading this chest. And if we take a full inventory of these netherite blocks here, get them all out of here, you'll be able to see that as we add items to this chest, the signal increases. Oh, it's going to be hard to see it as it goes down there. You can start to see it over the top of that window there. It goes up as we add more items until we finally get it completely full, and it has to be completely full with 27 stacks or 27 non-stackable items, and it'll output a full signal of 15. This also works on other container blocks such as droppers. So dropper has 9 slots, so if we get 9 stacks of netherite blocks here, as we put these in, when we get all 9 stacks in there, it will also output a signal of 15 and get all the way down here to the last one. And I just want to say the target blocks are just to redirect the redstone, because if you just run a single redstone line next to the lamps, it won't direct the redstone into the lamp. And that just allows me to place all these lamps next to each other and have the redstone as it goes up by 1 reach the lamps. That's the only function they're serving. Okay, if we take what we learned over here and apply it to this simple circuit, you'll see that we have a dropper with a comparator reading the dropper, and if we put items in the dropper, this comparator is going to output a signal strength of 1. That's going to be repeated by this repeater into this block, and that's going to put out a signal of 15. That signal of 15 is going to go down this side into this repeater, and that repeater is going to repeat it into this block, causing the dropper to activate every time this flashes. Now the reason it's flashing is because at the same time, this side is going into the side of the comparator, which is a signal strength of 15, 14, 13. So as long as it's reading 14, 13 or less in this dropper, it's going to shut off, that's going to shut off, this is going to shut off, and then this is going to turn back on, that's going to turn back on, and this is going to turn back on. It's just doing that really fast, and that's causing it to drop items. This switch was just so I could lock it so it's not clicking while I'm trying to talk to you. The important thing to note here is that if you get a higher signal strength than 14 or more, it's going to lock the system up because this side here is no longer strong enough to turn the comparator off. Now if you replace that dropper with a dispenser, add a few hoppers, some slabs, a chest, and some blocks, glass, and chickens, you get the classic chicken cooker. And this is just using the same circuit as we had there to dispense the eggs that the chickens are laying on top of a hopper. They fall into the dispenser. This circuit fires the dispenser and occasionally hatches a chicken, which there's none in there right now, and they stand on the slab till they grow up. Then they get cooked by the lava and their drops fall into here. This is a pretty famous build that you see all over the place, so I'm not going to go over building it. Just know that it's using this circuit that we just learned how it works and how to make it. I just wanted to show a clip of this actually hatching a chicken. So we're going to put 16 eggs in there, and we're going to see it's hatching baby chickens on top of that slab. When they grow up, their head will be in lava, they'll cook, their drops will be collected in the chest. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video, and hopefully you learned something. I'm trying really hard to keep this simple and useful at the same time. If you want to follow this series as we get more and more advanced in our redstone knowledge here, subscribe and turn notifications on. And if you wouldn't mind, drop me a like on this video if you liked it. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.